Iron sharpening iron, hit a spark when we speak. Stronger together, yeah, we building each week. Each one reach one, now the whole world know. Big Jack story time, walk talks, let's go.
All right, welcome to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. I'm your man, Big Jack. This is where we prove that we are stronger together, that if each one would reach one, we can all grow and glow. And I got my man with me, Walt Talks. How you doing, Walt? What's going on, man?
Doing well, sir. How about yourself, man? What's happening?
Doing good, doing good, doing good. It's for the first time in a while, the weather was decent over the weekend.
Yeah, nice weekend. Yes, sir. Nice
doing
weekend.
some yard work, I think, and spring cleaning and trying to get weather. But other than that, it was all good.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, man. I'm glad it's I'm hoping it's here to stay because it got cold during the week,
Well,
I'm not gonna say cold, but it was chilly, it got chilly in DC, man, 45 in DC. So yeah.
We're in the state of Maryland, in that area, and Maryland is that southern state that's in the north. So you don't know what you're going to get. You just get ready for it when it comes. But look, hey, I got to throw out there. I'm gonna put this out there because you said it many times that you are already retired. So you're retired. And I'm at that age or at that edge or thinking about retiring, but I know maybe I haven't done the right thing. Maybe I haven't. So as far as, you had the 401ks and stuff like that, but did you do it right? That was the big, that's the fear. That's one of the biggest fears for a lot of people. So today we have a guest that's going to help us maybe walk through those steps, maybe walk through. So I know that you got some background, but I don't have the background. So, it's going to be more you maybe can help us and bounce it off. So I don't know, because what was it like for you when you had to go through those steps?
So my situation is a little different because I'm a public safety guy. So we probably the last dinosaurs when it comes to pensions. So, when you're doing your 401k versus a pension, it's a lot. So I'm looking forward to learn because I know a lot depends on the market, especially when it comes to a 401k, man. So I just remember some guys that were friends of mine, same age, same cohort. When I was retiring, they were like, man, the market was going crazy at that time. So they, talked to their financial advisors and couldn't at the time. So, hey, man, I'm getting ready to learn a lot, man. It's a lot of stress just trying to retire in general, just trying to figure it out because we've all been conditioned to get up and go to work, right? And that next phase of your life is unknown. And so I'm sure that she's going to put us in the pocket, And I'm not opposed to going back to work. Maybe I can get a second retirement, man. Maybe I could, I can't get it playing golf because my game is not up to par. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
You made a comment that a lot of people, even to me, was foreign, what you said, your financial advisor. So I'm definitely going to have to listen in. So let's get our guests up on the stage, and that way we can start to learn some things because this is the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. Man. We welcome all of you that's out there right now, and let's bring our guests up on the stage. You ready?
Let's go.
Oh, that's
How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. So we have Monique Etheridge with us on the stage. Welcome to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show.
Thank you.
I am Big Jack Storytime. This is my co-host, Walt Talks. Or this is the other host, Walt Talk.
Co-host.
And we are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. And when the show is over, we'll make cuts and put it on Instagram and TikTok and Twitch and all the other social media networks. But right now, we just want to welcome you to the show. And I'm just going to say thank you for being here. And can you please share with our audience that's out there who you are? Who is
Sure. My name is Monique Owens Etheridge. I am, first and foremost, I'm a daughter of the Most High God. And let me start from beginning to end. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm an Army brat. My father was last stationed at Fort Dix. So a lot of times when people know me, they think I'm from New Jersey, but I'm actually from all over. But I was born in Memphis. My mom and dad families mostly are in Memphis, Tennessee. So shout out to my families who's watching me, because I told everybody to watch me in my group chat. But I finished high school and undergrad in New Jersey. So I finished from Rutgers University. I finished from Rutgers University because my mom told me I was going to go and made me go. I thought I was going to go into the Air Force, but my mother cursed out the Air Force recruiter and made me go to Rutgers. And so, but years later, I went back to thank her. And so, when I was at Rutgers University, I have a bachelor's in economics. But the beauty of going to Rutgers is that it was 45 minutes from Wall Street. So all of us did our interns. We were introduced to Wall Street at a very young age. So I was exposed to things that normal people were not exposed to. And so after I finished Rutgers, I did work at Prudential Mutual Fund Services for a minute in the 401k department. And that was really a cute job because I didn't know anything about 401k. And I remember I took the job because I was tired of commuting door to door, going from Somerset, New Jersey to Jersey City or Wall Street. It was taking me an hour and a half just to get to work. And back then I answered an ad in the paper, and the lady was like, well, do you know anything about 401k? And I said, no, but I can learn. No, but I can learn. And then I got tired of that job and I decided to go to graduate school in Atlanta, Georgia for 91 and 93. That's how I ended up in Atlanta. So I have an MBA in finance from Clark Atlanta University. So I went to Rutgers and then I went to the HBCU. So I can speak both languages, talk on both sides of the street, which I think is very necessary in this day and age. So I understand both cultures very well. And I really love it because I think it's just a beautiful thing to be in the kingdom to understand that. So I finished my MBA in 93. And that was funny because I was trying very hard to get back to the Northeast. I tried everything. I applied to jobs from Philly to New York, A to Z, made phone calls, not one offer. And all of my job offers were in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was devastated because I didn't want to stay here, but that was part of God's plan. And so, Labor Day, and I got a job at Bank of America, and that's another story because I'm a 401k background. I thought they're going to place me in the 401k department, but I got placed in the estate planning department for 12 years. But it was all part of God's plan because I need to know the estate planning piece. I need to know the 401k piece. So I have a holistic point of view from everything. And I met my loving husband of 28 years. I met him September 1st, 96 during Labor Day, right after the Olympics. So I am married to Eric. And we've been married almost 28 years. And Bill married us. So Bill married us. We got married on a cruise ship because, and then I like to say this one thing. One reason, when he told me what I thought, I remember what I heard. One reason Eric said that he wanted to marry me because he said I was frugal. And so I don't like to spend money. So he said that's when he decided to start looking for an engagement ring because that was one of those things on his checkbox. So I didn't know he had a checkbox, but I know I had a checkbox, but I didn't know that. But that's a whole nother story. So we've been married. It'll be 28 years in August, and Bill married us. So I am married to Bill's best friend. And so I've been working in the financial industry for about 30 years. I work now at a major financial institution, but what I'm doing now, I work more on deferred comp. What that means is that for those people who are not qualified to be in a 401k, meaning that they make 160,000 or more, they get put in what we call a deferred comp plan. I work with people who make a 160 or more all the way to the C-suite. So it's been a fun ride. I will definitely say I've been blessed. Like, people don't look forward to go to work. I get excited about the financial industry. It makes me tick, And so I know that's my mountain. and I don't really back off from it. I'm also an author, so I wrote a book. I actually wrote 2 books, but the other book Amazon hasn't released. It's available on Amazon, but the ebook, but not the hard copy because I didn't write enough pages, so I had to write more pages. But that's who I am. That's my introduction.
Well,
Wow.
it's a great introduction and a lot of pieces in there that we're gonna have to dig through. So, Monique, again, welcome to the show. So you talked about Rutgers, and I just want to throw that out there. The last college that recruited me before I decided which one I was going to, my last visit was Rutgers University.
Really?
So I went out to Rutgers University. That was the first time they ever been to our high school. So they was like, you gotta go to the visit because it's opening the doors for the people behind you. I had no intentions of going to Rutgers. There was no way I'm going to Rutgers. But I go out there for my visit. I just want to share this while we're talking. But I go out there for my visit, and when I walk in my room, the hotel room, there's a big spread already in the room. I'm talking all the stuff that you can order off of the room service menu was already in the room. And I didn't order it. My host decided, since it's the school paying for it, we're gonna
eat.
No, so I walked in the door and turned around, walked out. I said, "Oh no, you're not gonna hook me up with this." I had nothing.
Right. You were probably staying at the Hyatt.
And it was crazy. I was like, "Y'all not gonna get me jammed up over this." So I turned around, walked back out the door, and so they took me on a visit. So you going out for the weekend, and the big thing was they took me to New York City. So that's the first time I've ever been to the city.
Oh yeah.
We out there, and the car we was in broke down. So we're walking the streets and this, and it was crazy. So now I'm like, okay, where's the campus? They like, you're on the campus. I'm like, we're in the city. Like, no, this is the campus. I'm like, well, how you get to class? Well, maybe you can see one of your teammates and you can catch a ride. I'm like, oh no, I ain't going here. This is crazy. I'll never forget my opportunity to visit Rutgers and to see the school and all of that. But I didn't realize, even though you think you're from Washington, D.C. area, until I got there, I'm like, oh, I ain't been in the city yet. This is city.
And, I mean, it was fun. I mean, you could have just caught the train off of George Street, go straight to New York. That's what we used to do. I mean,
I just wasn't ready for that. What you say, Walter, a lot, the streets ain't for everybody. That's why they make sidewalks.
They make sidewalks, yeah.
That's what I learned right there.
So he probably got to New York and looked up at those tall buildings.
Yeah. I wasn't ready for that, but it was all good. So that's but that was my little better. And I'm also a veteran, so U.S. Army. So thanks to Dad for his service. And there's nothing wrong with the travels and all of that. And had you went Air Force, you'd have been okay. They'll take care of you as well. But you look like you've been taken care of. Look like
my dad, he was a Vietnam vet. You met my father.
Oh yeah,
It's kind of funny how you met my father, but it was. When Bill met me and my friends, he thought like I was raised by the Huxtables, but complete opposite. So, I love my parents. They are real people,
I kind of thought that too until you told me what your mom said to the recruiter, and then I realized,
So my daughter's not going to Air Force. Click. And then the funny part is when I went to Rutgers, I was in ROTC for I think just one semester. But what happened was that they wanted to do some drill at Fort Dix and sleep outside. I'm like, oh no, I don't. The princess doesn't sleep outside. And so I don't sleep out. I need to sleep in a hotel. And ironically, my husband and I were about to go on a missions trip. I'm like, how is the hotel?
Oh wow.
But it was really funny then too, because my drill sergeant said, I need for you to come to my office hours. And so he said, I give you a B+ if you quit. And so I said, okay.
Oh wow. I'm out of here.
I'm good. Just give me my B+, got my GPA. So I never served in the military, but my father did 23 years. And we moved around. My early years, we moved like every 2 years, which I think was really good, because I think that's why I don't know a stranger to this day, because, in kindergarten, you first say, hi, my name's Monique. In second grade, you're like, hi, my name's Monique. In fourth grade, you're like, hi, you're moving around so much that, but I really enjoyed that experience because I feel like I can go anywhere and just fit in because I had to at a young age. And so me being in Atlanta and in the house that my husband and I are in is the longest I ever lived anywhere.
Oh, wow.
So it still feels funny to me. I'm like, oh, okay, we're in the same house. And, his family still has the same house where they brought him home from the hospital. So I'm just like, that's foreign to me, but that's okay.
Sounds like a great combination. Sounds like a great combination.
It is. It is.
Look, so you mentioned that I performed the wedding ceremony for you. I officiated it. We were on a cruise ship out of Miami, Florida. I won't forget that. I didn't go on a cruise. I just went on the boat just to do the wedding and got off the boat.
Okay.
So that was, but it was good. It was a great opportunity because look, I had never been on a cruise ship before, so that was the first time I've ever been on one. So I'm like, oh, so now I gotta do some cruising because this thing is nice. I had never been on it. So
was it the first wedding that you ever officiated?
That was the first one. So I've really only done two, and both of them are still married. So I said I'm quit while I'm ahead. So people ask, "Are you married?" I'm like, nope.
Yeah. You got a perfect score, man. Perfect record. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh my God, that's
pretty good.
20 years, and you're doing 28 years.
Yeah, I never officiated a wedding either. So
So I've never, unfortunately, have done funerals, and they're all completed too. They don't come back. So. Just joking on that. But
waitress, he's appearing sale Thursday. Tip your waitress.
On the wedding side, I'm 2 for 2, and
I'm just gonna keep it like that.
No, but it was a great experience. Super happy for both of you.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, and we've had Eric on the stage before, having Triple E, in my life, all my life, pretty much, and like having, my circle is right here. I got Walt up here, got Triple E. Only one missing is my man Q. That's my circle right there. So
that's
So, but that's just good. But Monique, you're dealing in a lot, and like I said, we're going to get into some of your professional experience and all, but growing up around the world, so everywhere and this and that. I know you mentioned Germany and other places, and you even said that was good because you now I'm open, I'm free, I can go around, I can do anything and all of that. So would you discourage someone from going in the military? Not that you've been in, but because of your experience, would you say, hey, don't do that, don't go in?
I would just say be prayerful, because at the end of the day that you signed up to fight,
Right.
So my thing is, let's talk about the worst scenario, then let's talk about the best scenario. Be prayerful about it, but I would never discourage anyone from doing it. I think it's an honor to serve your country, and it has a lot of benefits to it, like the free healthcare that comes out with it. And like my father and my mom right now, my father passed away 13 years ago because he was a disabled Vietnam vet. She doesn't have to pay property taxes on her house, so that's a blessing, especially living in New Jersey, because the property taxes are very high.
Very high.
But trust and believe, they do check to see if she's alive, and I'm like, you want to come see her? She, come through. She's right here, but I wouldn't discourage anyone. I think it's a good career, particularly if you don't know what you want to do. It's a good time to figure out what you want to do. And if you do your time, they pay for your education. So I think that is fantastic because education is expensive.
I mean, like I say, I'm U.S. Army. Did my time. I went in a little different. I went in on I was already in college before.
I remember.
So, and getting in an argument with the football coach, and that's how I ended up in the military.
Got in an argument with the football coach, Bill.
Yeah. He's
been a bully all his life. He's been a bully all of his life. He bullied me when we were kids, so he's been a bully.
I'm at West Virginia Tech. I'm at West Virginia Tech. We're practicing at 6:00 in the morning. I didn't even know the skies were purple until that time, and I'm like, wait a minute, actually that purple sky thing is real. That's real. So it had to be a cold morning. Probably Q or somebody hit me and it really hurt my hands or whatever. So, and I'm like, I'm frustrated. I'm just upset because you know, it's too early in the morning to be playing football.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking to the coach and I'm like, hey, if I want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'd join the Army. And he said, well, join the Army. I'm like, I will. So I went right down the hill from practice field, went straight to the recruiter and said, what did I do to get in the Army? That's how I got in.
That's how it happened.
That's it.
I heard that story so many times. I didn't hear your part of the story. I just heard that.
That's how it was. So all of a sudden I'm talking to Eric and Q and like, hey man, I'll see y'all later. I'm going to basic training. What? Like,
yeah,
look, it is funny because hey, Walt, you wouldn't know this part of it, but I was the one that brought all of them to West Virginia Tech. I was like, hey.
Oh, yeah. And then you bailed. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So I recruited them all and got them in. And
because you were at Virginia Tech, weren't you?
I was at Virginia Tech.
Yeah. See, I remember.
Q was at Virginia Tech as well. So I went by and I picked Erica from Frostburg and Q come on with me from VT. We went and got Cliff, and we got people from all over the country. Hey, come on. We're gonna build a team.
Yeah, no.
And then
I still got a picture in our guest room. He has the picture of 4 of y'all in your.
Oh yeah, we're all living in one house, 710.
Well, no, not that one. You had your football uniform. I gotta take a picture and send it to you.
Oh yeah, do that. So Eric is in the chat. So the chat is going, you know, but he's in the chat and he said those walks to the gym at 4 a.m. is crazy. Yes, 4 a.m. because you got to get dressed to go to practice. So you up at 4, walking up to the gym, getting on your uniform and all that. Like nobody wants to do that.
Eric took me back there for something to visit. And I said, he should have graduated valedictorian because there was nothing to do in West Virginia. There's a whole bunch of tumbleweeds, like Gunsmoke or something.
We found stuff. We found plenty of stuff.
I was about to say that's where they found stuff to do. Yeah.
Look, you don't have to look for trouble. Trouble will find you. So
yeah, I can imagine with y'all.
Yeah. Okay. Especially not you know, hey, he knows it. Especially finding Q. Q found it. It found him everywhere. So
yeah, I spent we heard about the Q stories, and then the Howard came along.
And Howard came, and that made it even. Yeah. So, but we had a good time. We really did.
I want to know about retirement of 401k.
Huh? Say again.
What you want to know about retirement of 401k?
Like say, let's get off of that. Let's go down to so no 100%. So now I'm at that age. So that was fun back in the days when I was 23, 22, 21 years old. But now I'm not. I'm 55 years old. The double nickels. I'm double nickels. So eventually, I'm going to hopefully retire. Yeah, I want to retire. So with all of that, you know, so that's a big. And I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's people that's watching right now.
Well,
that's in 401k programs or not some programs or whatever. So.
Let me talk to you per se. So you work in corporate America still, correct?
Correct. That is correct.
And you have a 401k plan.
That is correct.
And does your company have a 401k match?
Yes.
Okay, so you need to be at minimum investing that amount to get the match because you're walking away from free money.
Correct.
So, but what if I will always advise people what they need to do, like someone like you who's thinking about it right now. When we finish this YouTube or this broadcast, I would log into my 401k and I would just see there has to be something on there to give you a projection. Are you on track or you're not on track? Okay, so I would see if I can plug in, like if you have an IRA from another company or a 401k plan, and you need to put it all together into this module that's on your 401k platform, because I know it's on there because it's on everybody's platform now, just to see if you're on track or not. And I always tell people, you know, you want to have some money in the stock market because that's how you beat inflation. You know, so they say inflation grows like 3 or 4%, and the stock market over a course of time will, you know, go like 8 or 9% per year. So you have to put money in the stock market in order to beat inflation. So you're tracking with me?
Oh, I'm listening.
Oh, yeah. And so also with that module that's on your platform per se, they probably have a Social Security paycheck calculator, or if you don't, you can contact the Social Security Benefits Office to see, hey, how much will I get if I retire now, if I retire at retirement age of 62 or 65 or 67, and they would give you a projection because you need to know how much income you're going to receive upon retirement. And you can start that projection today. You don't have to wait until you reach that quote unquote retirement age. So I always tell people, once you get into a 401k plan, only reason why you touch it is you need a body part or something. I don't recommend getting money out your 401k for nothing, because what happens is that is money out of the market. And once you take money out the market, you're erasing all that growth, all that interest, all that dividends that you no longer receive if you take out a loan or a hardship withdrawal. Now, I know things do happen that people do have to touch their 401k plan, but I'm from the school of thought you don't touch it for anything in the world unless you need a kidney or something. I mean, don't touch it. But some plan sponsors do put in their plan document that you can or cannot touch it. Some union plans have that language in there that you can only take a hardship withdrawal, and a hardship withdrawal is for you're about to foreclose on your home, you're about to be evicted, or a medical emergency. That's the only way you can take it. Because what I used to do when I got back into the 401k world, I was one of those educators where I had the privilege to go around the country to do enrollment meetings. So I met all people from all walks of life, from A to Z, from the janitor to the CEO, to talk about enrollment. And, ironically, I had a coal mining client in West Virginia. And the coal miners, it was that one particular company where they had the coal mining explosion years ago. And so they were the salt of the earth people. And so, but they were adamant about not putting money in the stock market. And I met them like 2005, 2006. And I came back after 2007, 2008, after the market crash. And they didn't lose any money because they kept their money in the money market. And so, but my advice to people, even if you are afraid of the stock market, put it in there anyway, or put it in what we call a target date fund. And so what the target date fund is say for instance, you want to retire in 2035. So you can put most of your money in a 2035 target date fund, because what happens with that 2035 target date fund, the asset allocation will automatically properly allocate for some put money in the stock, some put money in the bond market, some people put money in the money market for you. That's why they say you can quote unquote set it and forget it. And so that will help you too. So I said a mouthful. So what questions do you have for me?
Oh, no. And I'm going to tell you one of the biggest mistakes. So, I've had probably 1,000 jobs in my life. If I wrote everything down on the resume, it's 20 pages. And everywhere that when I left that one job and went to another job and they let me cash out that 401k thing, I cashed it out. That was money in my pocket.
Right.
So I was like starting over every time. So is that okay? Or
no? I mean, you probably cashed out because you probably had less than $1,000 because they let you cash out, or was it less than 5,000?
I cashed out because I was broke.
Oh, okay. You cashed out because you were broke. Okay.
So take the tax penalty. Okay, whatever.
Okay.
Let's be real with it. I'm broke.
I've been talking to you a long time ago, Bill. You should have called me. But I mean, if okay, so you cashed out. Okay, let's start. First of all, let's just start where you are. Okay, we can't cry over spilled milk. So now, if you leave the company, don't cash out. Roll it over into an IRA. If it's over 5,000, I think you can just leave it there for right now. But there are some laws changing in the government that may make you take your money where you are, And so I used to work for Wells Fargo, but Wells Fargo sold us to another institution. And so I left my money there. And I can roll it over into my IRA, but it's doing kind of okay. And so the flip side, the advantage of using a 401k sponsor or leaving the money there if it's over $5,000 is that, that money is overseen by an investment committee. And so you don't have to necessarily talk to a financial advisor per se, but I recommend everyone does do that. But they meet mostly time quarterly. They meet most of the time with the investment consultant to make sure that the proper mutual funds are in there for you to invest. But a lot of people just don't even look at it anymore. But I don't recommend you cashing out. But if you did, you did. But other people, when you leave, either roll over into an IRA or take it with you to your other company. Now, also, another benefit of the 401k is that hopefully they have a Roth 401k provision or Roth after tax, because now, before, when I first started in the 401k world, everything was pre-tax deduction. But now we have to think about, when I get older, I really don't want to pay this tax bill. That's why about 5 or 6 years ago, the Roth IRA was such a big deal. Like, do I pay the tax penalty now and let my money grow after taxes? And the reason that's important is that when you get older, you don't want to have a tax bill when you're a senior citizen. I don't want a tax bill now. So now, personally, what I do, I put some money in a pre-tax bucket, but I also put some money in an after-tax bucket. Because when I want to start decumulating, the first bucket that I'm going to decumulate is going to be the after-tax bucket, because I'm trying to kick this can down the road as long as I can, not to pay any taxes.
Okay, all right. So we do have a question that came in the chat, and it's from Jesus Influencer. And it says, and I'm going to put it up on the screen for you there. Is there any stipulations in a target date fund?
No, there's no stipulations, but what you have to do is you need to go on to your 401k provider, and then what you would do, you would click on that fund fact sheet and just look at it. So there's no quote unquote stipulation to the target date fund, but they're what we call expense ratios. Now you have to pay these investment managers, and so you may want to look on the fund fact sheet to see how much they're being paid. But if you're in a 401k plan and you're looking at the target date fund and you're looking at the expense ratios, if you have questions about that per se, that's probably someone you can contact at your company. And a lot of times, some of these plan providers, you are able to get a free, at least one Zoom call or talk with a consultant. Sometimes that comes with it.
Okay, now how often should you have that conversation? Is that once a year? Or
I would say once a year, at least once a year. Now, I don't talk to anybody because of my background, but one of my best friends is a financial planner. And so, the two of us get together, is like, we probably give other people a headache because of what we're talking about. But, she was the one talking about the decumulation. You have to have the proper decumulation, figure out what you want to take out first. And so now that's what I'm thinking too, like what I'm going to take out first, or what I'm going to do first. Do I even need to even touch it? And so blah, 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 so yeah.
Now we did get another question came in, and I thank you all. And if you do have questions for Monique on this, please put it in the comment section. We'll do our best to make sure we hit everybody's questions and even comments for Monique. And thank you for tuning in to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. So there's another one, Monique. It says, is it ever too late to start?
No, it's never too late. You need to just start where you are. Start today, start tomorrow. And the amount that you need to put in, I always tell people, put in much in as you can until you ouch, till you scream. Because you really do need to save money. And like I said, you need to start where you are. And to me, it's a good way to save money. Like if you're going to do the pre-tax part of it, it's a good way to lower your tax bill personally. And so I will put as much money as I can. And sometimes there's like a payroll calculator that you would see how much you will bring home based upon if I put 5%, if I put 6%. But, just start today, start where you are, because you need to take an assessment to see where you are, where you want to go. And you need to, because what you're going to do, those birthdays keep coming. My husband just had a birthday on Friday, so those, time is not waiting for anyone.
Now, that's a good point. And what I noticed, I do know, when I hit 50, they sent me a letter saying that I'm at the age now that I can play catch up. Now you can put a little bit more in what the normal is, because you're at that age that you can catch up. So that was one of the big things I did. I because of all the years of not cashing out, right? Like, you need to catch up. So I said, okay, I could pay a little bit more because it allowed me to put a little bit more in to catch up on my 401k.
That's good.
So I'm not going to hold, because I know Walt's, he probably sitting there biting at the bit a little bit.
I'm listening, man. I'm taking it all in.
Retired, so you don't have to worry about
one
this.
thing she did say that perked my ears. So I'm a retired firefighter.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
Appreciate that. But so we didn't have a 401k, but I was in a deferred comp program. But the 160 thing is what threw me off, because I walked in the door in the deferred comp program. Matter of fact, when I got there in '85, that was my first that was my first experience with it. And we had a guy come through just like you were out there preaching the gospel. And I don't have any regrets, but the one thing that I wish I had done, and this is back to your point, I would have just put more money into it. I did pretty good. I did very well, but I wish I had put more into it back then, because your money will grow compound, and that exponential growth thing is real. So if anybody's listening, whether you're in a deferred comp program or in a 401k, you definitely put it in, take the hit now. When you get your raises, do your thing. And like I said, I don't have any regrets, but when I say, what if I had done this? And there's always a what if moment when you're talking about money, right?
Yeah.
It would. I probably would have my boat right now.
But you know what? That's a good walk into my next point. What I always like to talk about, it's a concept I learned in grad school called time value of money. And someone like me, maybe I shouldn't have learned it, because my personality is very anal, meaning like, oh shoot, I shouldn't spend this money this way, because I know if I do this, this money can grow. And so if you invested just $20 per month in SPY, that's S&P 500 for 10 years, and you have approximately you invested about $2,400, and if you just put $20 a month in S&P 500 for 10 years, you would have $4,600 today. And that is a 91% return. And so if you invested $75 a month in the S&P 500 for 10 years, you have approximately $17,000. And that's total amount invested. And that's a return of about 88% on your money. Yeah. So what happens is that, I would like to say this. I'm going to say it in the right way, because I get in trouble sometimes. So we have to think about the time value of money. You have to use time and money on your side, because the money will grow. But I will have to have my disclaimer is that past performance is not an indication of future performance. Like, if something goes sideways with the war, I don't know what the stock market's going to do. I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I really don't know. But overall, in the long run, we still win. We do better. But I always tell people, you need to take an assessment where you are, because right now, investing in your 401k is what I call an appreciable asset, something that will over 5 to 10 years will go up, versus investing a lot of money in a new car or a sports car, and that goes down in 5 to 10 years. So you want to put your money that, I always think, well, if I put my money over here, is that going to go up in 5 years? If I put my money over here, that car note that's cost me $800 a month, that's not going to appreciate. It's going to depreciate. You just throwing money down the tube. I'm not saying not get a good car. What I'm saying, I'm just bringing people to an understanding, because I understand a lot of people don't understand what I understand, the difference between an appreciating asset and a depreciating asset. So, I'm sorry. People can say what they want. Like, like my husband and I, we are in the market for a new car right now, but part of the problem is me, because I'm like, that's an investment property, how much they want for that car. I was like, that's a lot of money. So, but we'll get there. So it's no problem. But yeah, if anyone gets anything out of this podcast today, is understanding the difference between an appreciated asset and a depreciating asset. And so that's how come the rich gets richer and the poor gets poor, because the rich knows where to place their money and the poor people don't. Like Warren Buffett. he still lives in the same house that he
Same
grew up
house.
in.
Yeah.
So that tells
Yeah.
me, oh wow, he
Yeah.
never had a mortgage. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And
Yeah.
Sam Walton drives an old pickup truck. You know, Bill, the guy who created Microsoft, Bill,
Bill Gates.
Bill
Bill
Gates.
Gates,
Bill Gates.
drives a
Yeah.
Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
Hey,
He's
wait a
not
minute, wait a
Yeah.
walking
minute. What's
in a
wrong with the camera?
Bentley or a
Nothing.
Mercedes. So this is the mindset. We have to shift our mindset on what's an asset and what's not an asset.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to save you.
That's true. So when you're talking about nobody's going to save you, like
Hmm.
and being informed.
Hmm.
So like I said, I was in a deferred comp program. I just rolled it over when I retired.
Hmm.
Then it's 70. I guess I got to start drawing on it, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
But a lot of people will take their money and not even know the tax ramifications until
Hmm.
after they get their tax bill, and that's the part that where you come in, because education with knowledge is good, but applied knowledge is
It's better.
education. Is that how that goes? You got to apply the knowledge that you have.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, explain to people when you do take it out. You said if you need a kidney, if you need a lung, a body part, but explain to people how serious that is, because you're getting hit 2 or 3 times, correct?
Right. Well, it's two different options. You can take a
Mm-hmm.
loan or a hardship withdrawal. So if you take a
Mm-hmm.
loan and you still have to pay it back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So say for instance you needed $5,000. Well, now you
Mm-hmm.
no longer have that $5,000, like that example I was talking about, depreciating over
Mm-hmm.
2 years. Well, you lost that appreciation by just taking that money out. So if you need to take it out, it needs to be a very good reason. And so also, if you leave that company before that loan is paid off, you're going to be hit with additional 10% penalty.
Right. The penalty and the
Mhm.
taxes, right?
And so you can take a harsher withdrawal that you don't have to pay back,
Mm-hmm.
but harsher withdrawals are normally for like funeral expenses,
Mm-hmm.
um, foreclosures, evictions, that's why you need a
Mm-hmm.
harsher withdrawal. But you're going to be hit with a penalty, at least a minimum 10%
So,
penalty.
so let me ask you this: a guy like Jack, who's talking about one day looking at retirement. I'm just saying, looking at retirement one day.
Yeah.
What
Mhm.
is the formula? Like, how much money does a person need to be able
Okay.
to live their lifestyle? How do you figure it out? How much I
At
need
least
to live my
he needs
lifestyle
to,
going forward?
well, the frame of thought is like you need at least 70% of what you're currently bringing in.
Mm-hmm.
But if he sits down, get out of debt, pays his house off, you know, pay off, get the, hopefully get the last car that you ever need, get out of debt, okay? Because a lot of people still want to
Yeah,
carry debt, but that's the key right
that's the
there.
key
He
right
needs
there.
to work
Yeah,
on getting out of debt because once he retires, he won't need as much money as he did before. But
right.
now we had this thing with the cost of health care. Preferably, you can do Medicare, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
you won't have to pay a lot of money for healthcare. So then the first thing, in addition to investing in your 401k or deferred comp,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, getting ready for retirement, you also need to be getting out of debt, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because even the guy says, oh, no man, nothing but the outstanding debt of love. So you need to, and I'm a Dave Ramsey fan, so I like the
Mm-hmm.
debt snowball. And I
Mm-hmm.
will always say this one testimony when my husband and I first got married, we had like $94,000 in combined debt. That's why
Mm-hmm.
we got married on a cruise ship, Bill, because I was not paying a lot of money for a wedding. I was looking for an economically feasible way to get married, and there was a compromise because I was trying to elope, but Eric's like, no, I want, got family. But now that I look back on it, I'm glad we did because those were some really good memories for our family, with our parents that I can't get back. However, oh, so we did the debt snowball, and this is when Eric was in corporate America. And so every time we paid off a bill, one of us would either get a bonus or a raise every single time. And I was like, God, you just couldn't give me that money before. you know, and then after 3 years, we were out of debt. And so, I was like, I think God was just looking to see what we're going to do. And he blessed us with more, which goes into what he said in Matthew 25, when he gave some 5 talents, 2 talents, and 1 talent. And people act like God is not watching. All the money that you have is from the Lord anyway. And so when he comes back to take an inspection, what did you do with what I gave you? He's looking for a return on his investment. You see? And he got mad at the last one because he was afraid to do anything. So you got to break off fear. So someone like Bill, who's looking about getting retired, first thing I would say, how close are you to paying off your mortgage? Do you want to stay here forever? Where do you want to live? That's the first thing you need to figure out. And then you have to figure out your expenses. And so, that's what you have to figure out. It's all part of the plan. It's not just one thing. How much you're going to get in Social Security? Do you have a pension? All that good stuff.
Well, I mean, it's definitely good facts that you're putting out there. And for those who are out there, because they only know me as Big Jack, I am also Bill that she's talking about. So
I'm sorry.
No,
you blew his cover. You blew his cover.
I was talking Big Jack. I'm sorry.
No. Let me put my glasses on so you won't know who I am. Superman put his glasses on. You don't know that's Clark Kent. So for those who don't know, Big Jack is Bill. So, but anyway, we're past that one. There you go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where did she go? Where'd she go? Monique left. Did she go?
I'm looking at her. Yeah.
I looked at the.
Yeah,
I was trying to see the comments. That's all.
Man.
But it's really good points that you made, and I appreciate it, because those are things we're fair. But the biggest thing, especially when you talk about 401ks and all, and I know you said set it and leave it, but for a lot of people, it's hard to just leave it, because all you hear about is how the market is low or this and that. So if I'm putting my money in it and I see it dump or go all the way down, I'm like, I just lost money. And that's where a lot of people, that's a fear. That's a huge fear for a lot of people.
Can I?
Go ahead, Rob.
So let me say this. Because this is like the best barbershop debate ever. And I'm going to, it's like, when she says, I don't even look at my stuff.
Right.
Because you will go crazy. And the time to buy is when things are low, when things are going bad. That's not the time to sell. Go ahead, Monique, please. I mean, so I had this conversation.
Yeah, you don't. Like a person that's going to be looking at it every single day, maybe you just need to put it in the money market, but you're not going to get the appreciation that you're going to get. You're going to miss out on a lot of opportunity, So, and right now, the bond market, we don't know what's going to happen with the bond industry, because when interest rates go up, the bond goes down, and when the interest rates go down, the bonds go up. So it all depends on what you want to do. So, but it's all like, that's a good point. Well, Big Jack, I'm sorry. What's your risk tolerance? If you're the type of person that's going to be staying up at midnight looking at your 401k portfolio, no, I do look at it maybe once a month, just to see, but I'm not going to take anything out, because what happens is, like, that day that, it's going down, and like, for instance, I think it was in March, it was tanking. It was going down hard. I was like, ooh, is my 401k going to become a 201k? Like, I was concerned. But in April, and it's still going up, it recovered. So only thing it was doing was retracing, So, but although it was going down, guess what? I'm still going to get the dividends that I got invested in the mutual funds, that interest that I got invested in the bond funds, because I'm a record holder.
But you haven't lost money until you take money out of the market.
Right. And so what you're talking about, unrealized capital gains.
Right. Unrealized capital gains.
Unrealized losses.
But here's the thing, Jack. This is the thing right here, man. You gotta, this is the difference. So with my situation, like, I'm a pension guy, right?
That's good.
But pensions are no longer. I mean, it used to be, you get the pension and the gold watch, but those days are pretty much gone. But the thing, Jack, is this, man. when you start drawing on your money to retire, that determines what's happening, right, Monique? Determines a lot, because you start taking money out of the market at that point. So a lot of people are like, I can't retire. But then also, a lot of times people tolerate tough times if they're in the market, because right now they're making money. So they really don't care about the people who are not in the market and not making any money. And that's why we have not the attitudes, I guess the temperament that people have right now. It's like, so what? I'm making money, so what? I mean, which is a short-term view when you think about it. And it sounds kind of selfish, but everybody's situation is how their individual situation. So that's why the barbershop is like having these conversations. I mean, it's beautiful. I would love for you to come into and I don't go to the barbershop except to talk trash. But you know, I always enjoy these conversations because you're the pro. So most people talk about their situation, their specific situation. So I always enjoy talking to the pro, because everybody has a different outlook. And like you said, you're frugal, which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool within itself, in itself, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't want to cut. I know we got another question. It's a good one that came up, so I want to make sure we get this one up here. All of them have been good questions, and it's a good conversation. So, you know, I do still go to the barbershop, thank God. But at the same time, we do talk about this, and I'm in a good spot, you know. But I wasn't all my life, so this is why we bring people on and have you here, Monique, and we thank you for your expertise. But I'm gonna put this up on the screen. And it says, where would I got to get information? My employer matches pre-tax, Roth contributions, pre-tax bonus, and Roth bonus, but it all sounds overwhelming. But I want to maximize help, please. So
so what you would do is probably click on that website, and it should be someplace where you can make an appointment. If not, I would talk to my HR director. And see who can I talk to, because it should be someone that you can talk to. So, yeah, you want to take advantage of the match. The thing is that in order for you to get their employer match, most of the times you have to be in it to receive it. So if you're maxing out, that's good. So, or if you have money, or you have also an IRA or something, I will also talk to my banker to see if they have a financial advisor, like at the Wells Fargo, Bank of America, particularly if you walk in the door and say, I'm thinking about rolling over. And then they're going to start talking to you, you know, because they want to invest your money also. But the first thing for the Jesus influencer, I would look on their website to see where she can click and make an appointment with somebody. Hopefully she can do that. If not, I would talk to my HR employer to see why they don't have someone to help you. But they may have someone, but I know that person I can call.
The thing is, and in reality, in Jesus Influencer, I want to say thank you for putting the questions up there. It is almost like speaking Hebrew and Greek. When you're reading, like, you know, it's like, oh, there must be the King James version that they give you, because it's not plain to me. I need to speak plain to me. So, and that's where one of the biggest problems we run into, because it does. It's
right, and that's where
and IRA and this and that, and you get confused. You really do get confused on what are you doing, and am I putting anything in, or where's it going? Because it come out on my statement, but it don't look like it's growing or anything when I look at my,
Stop looking at it. Stop looking at it.
That's the, you know, tell me to stop looking at it, like telling me to stop looking at my phone bill when it come in, or my electric bill, because I know that's where my money's going. I know that when that bill come in, my money's going. So to me, sometimes it sounds almost like a bill that I need to pay my 401k, so that eventually when I decide to retire, that I'll have something that I'm putting into, I'm investing in it. But it's a payment. And when you're living paycheck to paycheck, or you start making that decision, do I eat or do I put more on my 401k? Because it's really not a lot to go around. And I don't want to, I'm going to stop right there for a second, because it's hard to believe we ran out of time. Monique, you do have a book. I want to make sure we
have a book.
Yeah. So I'm going to put it up on the screen. Can you tell us a little bit about your book?
And yes, actually, I wrote this book years ago. I do have a second version on Amazon. You can get the second version online only. I just can't print it out yet because I had to write more pages. But anyway, I wrote this book years ago. When I was at my other church, I was part of the benevolence ministry. And so what would happen is that if you came to the church and you wanted us to pay, I don't know, some back rent or mortgage or whatever, like a large bill item, you would have to come to my class, my finance class for 3 weeks. And at first, the first time people would come, sometimes it was a captive audience because they didn't want to be there. But after 3 weeks, they fell in love with me, and I got a lot of tidbits from the Lord about what to do about getting out of debt, about finances, what God says about money. God talks about money more than faith in the Bible. So he is concerned about your provision. And so that's my book, and that's what I wrote out of it. So it's a beautiful thing, and it's available on Amazon.
So the book, the second version
Yeah,
is
it's the same name version too.
no, I get that, but I mean, so where did you stop with the first version, second? What is new in the second version?
I
Is
just updated it like that,
okay,
but the green book I wrote back like in 2007.
seven.
So
Okay, gotcha.
yeah,
That was
and
it.
the
Okay,
other book I wrote in 2026. So things have
gotcha.
changed, so I updated it.
Yes, yes.
Make it more modern.
Okay. Yep.
Mhm.
No,
And
and
so it's really good because and I also talk about like multiple streams of income. Just don't like rely on your employer about
Mm-hmm.
it. But I like the fact that I like when people, do a side hustle, do some things besides working every single day to get an extra stream of income. Because I remember, I don't know whose church it was, but they were using my book in their beginners classes. And I couldn't even thank them because I didn't even know who they were. But every month I was getting a royalty check. So I was like, thank you. Thank you
and
very
I know that you're a I don't say a content creator to a sense, but you do have a YouTube page and
much.
a
Yes, I
Facebook page.
do.
And we did put your YouTube and your Facebook information there in the chat. So
Mhm.
those who are watching, if you want to reach out to Monique via her YouTube, she needs some subscribers. I know she got
Yeah,
3.
I just started my YouTube
Started,
station.
started the
So
page.
I need to get to 1,000 people. So I've
Yes.
been loading up. I haven't done anything live yet. So be gentle with me. I'm
Well,
not.
you have to have at least 50 to go live. So I can tell you
Oh,
Yeah.
that.
gotta go 50. Oh, that's what it is.
So you already it's all kinds of rules to get there. There's all kinds of rules, but you'll hit 50 with no problem. You got to
And
keep going
she
up.
needs to join your class on Wednesday night, Jack.
Wednesday night, which is the Grow and Glow Academy every Wednesday or the second and third Wednesday of the month. And
What is that?
we're teaching people how to actually build their channel to get to the
Oh, what
nice
time?
part. 7 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday or second and third Wednesdays of the month. It's called the Grow and Glow Academy. So Monique, we're out of time.
Oh, I
We're
can't
really, really
believe
out
it.
of time. But what I want to ask you is this one, and you can throw it how you want. What message do you have for anyone out there? So I'm just either I'm getting started, I'm in it, I'm trying to get like the Jesus influencers been asking questions. So we're going to ask you to take this last couple of minutes and give us some great advice or any advice on what to do and how to get ourselves faithfully financially secure
Mm-hmm.
and non-faithfully financially secure. But
Mm-hmm.
either way, we need to be financially secure, not just for
Okay.
ourselves, but for our
Yeah.
future. So
That's
please, this time is yours. Tell us what to do.
first step is take an assessment of where you are. You need to know how much debt you have, how much you owe, how much does it cost for you to live every month. Because if someone says, "Oh, I want to bless you with a check this month to pay for your expenses," do you know even what that is? So that's the first step. Find out how much does it cost for you to live. Second step, do a debt snowball. Let's get out of debt. So what that is, so say for instance, you owe $1,000 on this credit card or 10,000 on this one. So you pay extra money on $1,000 credit card first, and then after you pay that one off, you take that minimum and go to the next one, just like Dave Ramsey says. Thirdly, you do need to look on your 401k provider or 457 just to see where you are, see if they have any webinars that they give for free, or if there's a way that you can sign up to talk to someone professionally, because a lot of times your employer has that and you're not aware of it. So those are the top 3 things that you need to do. Thirdly, or fourthly, I don't know what number I'm on. Maybe do a financial fast. Find out what you're doing. Is it a need, obligation, or a want? Do I need to eat out every day? Do I need to get my nails done? Because remember that time value of money, that $20 per month does grow. Like I said, that if you put $20 per month in the S&P 500 for 10 years, you would have approximately 4,600, and you only invested 2,400. And so also, like if there was $75 per month, if you put the $75 per month for 10 years, you would have $17,000, and that's a return of about 88% on your money. So that's where you start. So one, take an assessment where you are. Let's do the debt snowball. Oh, also make sure that you at least put in enough money into the company match to get the company match, and then figure out if you want to do it pre-tax, after tax, or a cross between both, and talk to your CPA about that. So that's where we are, and thank you very much.
All right. So we want to say thank you, Monique, for being a guest on the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. Walt, as always,
I just ordered the book.
Thank you. Thank you so
the
much.
book is ordered by Walt Talks. We thank each and every one of you who was out there today in the chat and hanging out with us. Continue to tune in and watch more and more episodes of the Iron Sharpening Iron Show and the Iron Sharpening Iron universe. We got a lot of good things going on out there, and you should be a part of it. We are stronger together, and if each one could reach one, we could all grow and glow. But until next time, we ask you all to stay blessed and stay sharp, and we'll talk to you later. Monique, please hold back after this, and we'll talk to you behind the stage. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good night, everyone.